Supergirl Rebirth issue 1 by Steve Orlando and art by Emanuela Lupacchino. So, Kryptonian werewolf.
Hell yeah.
You just know this was like made for Matt.
Yep, it was.
Lar-On.
Yep.
Lar-On is a werewolf on Krypton. Something to do with red kryptonite is the cause of it, and he's the thing for her to fight in this issue. I wouldn't say he's the villain.
He's a traditional werewolf in fiction where he's not a bad guy, but when he turns into the creature, he loses all sense of humanity. So,
even if
she
that
needs
thing where
something to punch.
he looks at the moonlight,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, he
I
realizes.
forget what the line was, but he says like, "Planet Light, the thing that changes me."
It is something weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and it gave me a crack up.
No,
It set the tone.
It says, "Fools, world light triggers my sickness."
World Light, yeah. So
now, let's get to the meat of it though, and that's obviously we were all looking forward to Supergirl, and I am happy to say that I really enjoyed this first issue. Amazingly, I would never have said this like 2 weeks ago, but I might have preferred Superwoman, but that's not because this was bad. It was just because Superwoman was, surprisingly excellent.
Superwoman, it packed a massive punch that we weren't expecting. So,
but the first thing I'd say about this though is I think the tone is down. Like, I think he's nailed the tone what this should be. Admittedly, I don't know if I would have made the choice to age Kara at 16. Like, I know technically she probably was that in New 52, but we can fudge that if we want to. Let's not be committed to that.
They're just putting her at high school age so you can get the high school drama.
Yeah.
I think it's because they want to differentiate Supergirl and Superwoman a bit, so have a bit of an age gap.
You could have thrown her in college. It didn't have to be high school, but whatever. It's a small thing. They're matching the tone of the show, and unlike when Green Arrow tried this, after Lemire's run, this felt natural.
Do you know what the difference is, though? The tone of the show of Supergirl is what Supergirl should be.
Right.
The tone of the show of Arrow is not what Green Arrow should be.
No, the tone of the show of Arrow is we want to be Batman, but we are failing miserably at being Batman.
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
But I'm just talking about introducing elements of the show. Like, they forced in Felicity, and they forced it to go darker. And, I quit after 2 issues just because it was terrible.
Yeah,
this, though, the DEO and the handler, it's not quite her sister, but there's some similarities there. And then her parents, too, borrowing the names from the show.
Yeah, I did see an interview with Orlando where he was asked why he borrowed so much from the show, and he basically just said, because the show got it right, it's what Supergirl is, so why not?
Yeah, I think the interest of the Danver parents, did they mention Alex? I don't think they did. No, so there might not be an Alex in this, which I'm kind of fine with, because Alex did. It's funny because I've been rewatching the Flash and Supergirl leading up to the new seasons, and I just hit Flash season 2 Supergirl, so I'm just sort of alternating between the two, like the episode by episode. And I remembered, like, when the show started, that Alex was easily my least favourite part. And she got better as the season went on, but now that I went back and I just watched the first episode again last night, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I disliked her. Like, she's just really, like, whiny and stuff. So I don't know if maybe they'll bring her in later. But, the Danvers being there's fine. They've got Director Chase, the head of the DEO, and they help Supergirl, like, get better because she's, like, suffering from, power loss and similar stuff that New 52 Superman had. So they fly her into the sun so that the sun will just reignite all her powers.
That's
Solid
right.
plan.
And if I have one complaint about this show, and it is literally the only complaint I could have, is that I do feel that aspect of it's maybe a little bit just kind of rushed. Like, it's just...
Well,
I could argue that a lot of this is rushed just as to get it set up, get the status quo ready for the actual number one.
Because all we had seen up to this point after the Citadel arc was her, like, in that big Superman crossover before Rebirth.
Yeah, Last Days of Superman.
Yeah, and that was just very... Again, that was kind of haphazard and messy. Had there been, like, a miniseries or something to introduce her power loss, I think this would have worked better. But they're dropping it on you. Her powers are flickering in and out, and now they're gonna launch her into the sun.
The thing is, though, is that Orlando clearly wanted to just fix it as quickly as possible, so that we could get past it and start telling Supergirl stories.
Yeah, he clearly wanted, once we hit the actual number one, let's just go with what this wants to be. Forget getting everything back to how it should be.
This issue was about, like, it was like a mission state, it was like a proof of concept. Here's what the tone's going to be. Here's how the character's going to feel. But a lot of the plot was let's like fix the shite that was around that we didn't want to keep around. So and I think it does it fairly well. So I really like when Chase is explaining, right, you're going to have your parents, in quotations, are your handlers, and you're going to actually experience being a human, because that's important. You have to do that so you fit in and all that. So you're going to go to high school, but when shit goes down, it's time for a job for Supergirl. And I really like that page, and she likes flying as it says that. And it was just, it felt fun, but it felt like it had a heart. I liked that she didn't want to just give up on the werewolf. She was like, no, we're going to try and help her. We're going to try and rehabilitate.
Well, it should be said, too, that her dad is the one that locked him in the Phantom Zone until they could find a cure.
Yeah, Zor-El, yeah.
Yeah, Zor-El, and then they tease him at the end, which... This is where it gets a little murky, because they've already used the Cyborg Superman Zor-El thing, which I always thought was weird.
Yeah, she didn't. She never. I actually went back and read that arc from New 52.
Oh, you did?
Because I wanted to be aware of just what had happened, if any of it was relevant. She never found out that.
That's her dad.
That's her dad. We did as a reader, but she never found out.
Right.
So I don't think it'll actually be a big deal if you didn't read that, because she doesn't know. So you'll just be in her shoes.
That's fine then.
That's good then. I just thought that always was such a weird thing to make Zor-El the whole Cyborg Superman.
I think it'll be good here. I think he'll explore the dynamics of that and her father being. But the weird thing is, the Cyborg Superman didn't know that he was her father either. He
finds out towards the end, doesn't he?
He finds out towards the end because he basically steals her life force to become human again, and he gets all his memories back, and then he reverses it once he realizes who he is, because he doesn't want his daughter to die.
Well, it wasn't as terrible as the covers made it look. That's good to know.
Honestly, the writing wasn't amazing, but the ideas weren't as terrible as the Instant Life.
It was decent.
Yeah, it was New 52 writing, basically.
Yeah,
with some decent ideas.
I'm just happy to have a Supergirl back, because New 52 Supergirl wasn't terrible when it started. Like, it was a fun use of the character. And you got the Silver Banshee stuff in there. And they were working.
I am so glad we're back to a classic looking outfit. Like,
I was just going to say, that splash page where she comes out in it. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's like, thank fuck. I mean, it's not. I didn't even hate the other outfit. Like that other outfit would be fine on a new character. Like, if you get brought up a new.
Well, it's very Power Girl looking without the window. Like it's a bikini, like a single. What's it? A one piece. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But now here it looks like Supergirl, and skirt, no skirt. If they want to give her pants, cool. But like this looks like a super character's costume.
Yeah. So. No, I'm fully in the skirt camp. I feel like it just. I don't know, something about it doesn't look like Supergirl if it's not a red skirt.
Huh?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's very much like the show. They've kept this similar kind of S design. I like the idea that Zor-El's S was slightly different because it's a different branch of the family. Like, it's very similar, but there's some slight differences. Maybe because when he marries whoever Laura's mother's is, I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
Laura?
Allura.
Allura, there you go, thank you. Like, maybe when Zor-El marries her, like, her family's style integrates with the L one. Like, every time someone gets married, it alters a little bit based on who they've married, and that's why Zor-El and Jor-El's symbols are slightly different, but similar. I don't know. I'm just theorizing.
It really doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't. But
they're the L's of Argo City, and they were, I don't know what city Jor-El and Lara were in. But they were the L's there, so it helps to be distinct.
Yeah.
So I thought it was fun. I thought with Tom was down, art was pretty good. I know it's a different artist on the main book when we get going, but art was fine here. So
it's how you said you preferred Superwoman. I'd agree on the first issue, but I feel like this is going to be more for me as the series as a whole. But this issue in particular was just, let's get everything set up.
No, I might agree as well. Like, I might prefer this series as a whole once it gets going as well. But honestly, they both seem to be in really good places, and I think it's nice that they're distinct. It's nice that they're both servicing two different characters who have been kind of, if not mistreated, just kind of ignored for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, it's
especially
good to have
Kara, given that she was getting a show and had no comic.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
Again, that's the New 52, just not knowing what's going on. Like, it's very frustrating.
Yeah. But Kryptonian werewolves, people, and Supergirl's back in 3 weeks.